And now here's part 2 of our episode.
Before we dive more into this album and maybe talk more about that song, I just have to say that all this talk about Janelle Monae and Tessa Thompson, and then you mentioned Michaela Cole, and now I want there to be a project where the three of them plus Issa Rae all get together and make something, because I feel like I think we watched I May Destroy You. It's I May Destroy You, right? Is that the title?
Yeah. I get the title wrong all the time.
We watched during the pandemic, and Michaela Cole. I mean, I first saw Michaela Cole in Black Mirror, I believe.
Oh,
because I think she's in 2 episodes of Black Mirror. But I mean, man, I feel like get those 4 people in a room together, and all the problems of the world will be solved.
Yeah, they're really griots. I love Michaela Cole from Chewing Gum. That show is so good.
Chewing Gum I have not watched yet. I need to watch that one.
Yeah, she wrote and starred in it. That's really that's a really special, very funny, absurd show.
So you express such distaste at having to choose a single standout track. That was such a fraught moment in the podcast just now. I got to tell you, it affected me. So I think I'd love to hear what your second placed standout track would be.
Make Me Feel. 150%. Yeah. It is this. It's for me the sexiest song on the album, and the magnetic sort of charisma of what I remember my first encounter of Janelle Monae. This song embodies all of that, that original essence. The song makes you feel like Dionysus, or you're at one of Dionysus's parties and you're just drunk as a skunk or whatever intoxicant, and multiple probably, and you are the polyamorous god of the space. And it's also a song that I fucking get down to. I again, Ange can dance, and I dance to this song.
1,000 points for Ange.
At my 21st, I was peacocking to this song, trying to seduce my now partner, and it worked. Going strong.
The proof is in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding. Yeah. Thank you, Janelle. And you can't not love the emotion picture and those rose mesh pants that she wears. Oh my God. Thank you for that gift, Janelle.
The costume design of that motion picture is insane. It's so good. Also, I think this is the first time we have an invocation of Dionysus on the podcast, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Dionysian? Dionysus is here right
Dionysian? Whatever.
Dionysian? All right, you get 2,000 points for that.
Fantastic.
For invoking the god.
I have had 2 glasses of wine today, so
that's you're on your way to a Dionysian experience. So. Before we dive too much into what makes this a perfect album for you, I have to say that this album has special appeal for us because of something that we discovered today, which is that on this album, Janelle Monae samples Radiohead.
Oh,
there is in the song Don't Judge Me, there's it's the tiniest little sample, but it's embedded in there twice from the song Climbing Up the Walls from Radiohead's album titled OK Computer.
Oh my God.
The more you know.
Wow.
So, I mean, I already loved listening to this album anyway, but when I heard that today at the gym, I was like, oh my God, that is Radiohead. And then I went online to see, and I was like, yes, it is. I was right. It's totally right. Just oh my God, I love her even more now. So
I can't say I'm surprised either. I mean, that it's a fitting, they've been doing the robots and beeps and boops for many years. And she is carrying on the grand tradition of beeps and boops and robots and music. I think it's very important that we have somebody doing that.
Yeah, and the melancholy of that song too.
That's a great
definitely the vibes, in keeping with the vibes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right tone, right artist, right concept. Yeah.
Wow. And she has encyclopedic knowledge of a lot of things. I just feel like she does, especially like in
Yes.
her lyrics. She has so much knowledge of everything, and so I'm not surprised that she's like giving odes to Radiohead. I bet there's a bunch of other Easter eggs all around this album,
I'm
of the
sure.
musical inspirations that she's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like Prince is like a very obvious one, right? But
Right. Yeah.
Right. Remind me what the thought is that Prince.
yeah, I mean, there's some speculation that he did work on it, and the song "Make Me Feel," he played it at his parties before it was even released as a single. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was like in the bank for a while.
Yeah.
And, Prince there's a lot of speculation about Prince, but he used to have allegedly like these music parties where he would like invite all his favorite artists, contemporary and not contemporary, to his house
Yeah.
to jam and like have jam sessions. And Janelle frequented those parties, allegedly.
That's another match made in heaven. I feel like, man, just gotta throw up some gratitude that those two people were able to meld minds. What a gift.
What an amazing gift. It's also speculated that he wrote a lot of lyrics on "Make Me Feel" specifically too.
Mm-hmm. I looked it up real quick. He actually died in 2016, 2 years before the album even came out, and he's not. Which I think Janelle Monae had already been working on the album at that point.
for sure.
I mean, a couple of the interviews that I read with her, she even said like she'd really been working on this album for like 10 years because this was the album that she always wanted to make and that she knew she had to make. And I think maybe because of the political climate, that kind of maybe pushed it a little bit. But also, I mean, I think the reason I think it's debated is because he's not credited on the album at all, and so I think that's why there's speculation. But like, come on, he helped on the album. Like, I mean, it's like the melding of those minds is pretty clear here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the influences are too uncanny.
Yeah.
Wow, 2016.
I know, it seems like forever ago.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah. One of my favorite artists.
Maybe we could talk a little bit about what you believe perfection is, and if you care about that concept. We like to ask our guests what their rubric was when we gave them the brief of we want to hear about 3 to 4 perfect albums. What were the standards that you were using in your head?
I'll start with like, do I buy into the idea of perfection? I am learning the trauma of perfection as an adult. I don't believe anything perfect exists, and I think that imperfection is actually the most perfect thing that we have as like human beings. And which is a creative way of dodging what I think perfection is, which is like, for me, I think perfection is, especially as an artist, a real deep care, and a real deep patience with whatever project you're crafting and putting out into the world. And like, in all of the albums that I like made a list of, I really feel like those are like, it's a body of work that the artist really, really cared for and curated in a really intentional way. And it also, like, all the albums that I sort of nominated took a really long time. They weren't like turned out over, a year. I'm not saying that like bad art is made in a year or what have you, but I think that like an album like Dirty Computer, it encompasses and it talks about so much in such beautiful sort of like packaging that I can't fathom it not taking a long time to sort of like pick through. And I wonder how many drafts of Dirty Computer Janelle Monae has, like just like in her folders,
It sounds like that's a quality she shares with Prince, of just having this enormous backlog of music that just exists for her, like an archive. And maybe she picks from it and pastes and cuts and puts stuff together, kind of collage style, which I really respect that too. I love that you say that they were albums that were developed over a long period of time, though, because it does indicate commitment. It indicates if you stick with something for that long and you see it through to the point at which it's released into the public, that that has to mean something for sure.
For sure. Yeah. And it's a complete body of work, and in the emotion picture too, like it like having a whole visual component that can stand alone. I think like that's perfect.
Do you feel like Dirty Computer has a thesis? And if you felt like it had a thesis, what do you think? And you can make this a statement. You can answer as a statement. You can tell me to shut up. But you could answer as a statement. You could answer as an image, like a description of an image. Like, is there something that you feel like we're left with as a thesis?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that scene in the motion picture where Tessa Thompson's character Zen remembers, but like the tattoo, they're like caressing the tattoo, and Janelle, who's Jane in the picture, says, "You remember me, don't you?" And it's clear that Zen remembers, and Zen's like, "It's too late, and you should feel good about being erased of all your trauma, of all your memories. We fought so hard to be free, and now we can be. Why are you fighting that?" And Janelle says something like, "I don't want to forget you. And I don't want to forget." And that to me is like, it was somewhere in that scene is the thesis, and I think is saying something really complicated and beautiful about trauma. And like, because even we joke around about how the world is ending and how great would it be if we were like, if like all of the traumas of the world and all the traumas that we've internalized as like human beings could just like go away and we could start over, right? In this dystopian world that the motion picture is set in, and the album is set in by proxy, everyone's given a chance to start over, and Janelle is fighting the starting over the entire time. And I think there's something really complicated and beautiful about living alongside our traumas and our memories. And she says something like, it makes us unique. It makes us who we are. And I think our ability to love comes from what we've suffered. Like, we don't know suffering, then we don't know love, or something like that. And it's not like a defeatist, nihilistic sort of outlook. Simultaneously, she's able to be like, no, I want all of my dirty computer file folders, whatever. I want all of that, because that is who I am, and it led me to you. And we can live our best lives, like, despite of the world that is crumbling around us, and create a new one, Yeah. Yeah. And like, if we forget all of the mistakes that we've made and all of the stuff that we've survived, like, how do we know what to build away from and to build towards? And I think that is a really, really wonderful, and sort of like at the heart of Afrofuturism too. Like, like imagining the world past the point of revolution. And I think she's really starting to do that.
Oh, that's a great answer. You get 3 million points for that. Come on. 3 million points for I don't want to forget, and that we, the core belief that we can build a better world. Because there is an optimism, I would call it optimism, that it seems to be run through, at least a lightness that runs through Janelle Monae's music that I really appreciate. Yeah, the playfulness of it. It's not, she doesn't take herself too seriously. You can party to her music, but you can think to her music, and there's something that is a tough line to cross without being made to feel like you're being talked down to, like being able to do both of those things without feeling like you're being told how to feel is a delicate art. And I think she does it really well.
Yeah, her music isn't a polemic, and it can be. It could slide into that territory really fast.
Yeah, I was actually just going to ask you, do you think this is like an overtly political album?
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
But not political, but not polemical.
Yeah, I think so. Because she's smart, because you can groove to her music, and then she'll do like a breakdown, and she'll spit some like really, really like pointed stuff about the system and her blackness and her queerness, and you're like, whoa, wait. And then she goes on to the next dance track, and I think that's so cool and fun and disarming. and especially with a song like Americans, like that is absolutely a political song. Like even just calling it Americans, I think like God Bless America is a political song, you know, like
For sure.
Yeah, I think she's being overtly political for sure.
It's reminding me a little bit of an album we talked about in our very, very first season, which is Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814.
Great album.
Which also feels like it's that sort of, there's political alongside the dance tracks. Like, I mean,
sure.
There's that point, that little interlude in the middle where she says, "Get the point? Good. Let's dance." And then it goes into "Miss You Much." Like there's the two are just sort of coexist side by side across that album.
Hell yeah. There's a lot of like Black Panther imagery in those music videos too. And Beyonce borrowing from Janet Jackson, and yeah, everyone's borrowing from Janet Jackson, but even like Rhythm Nation.
I'm coming to find this out from my friendship with Michael. You know, like I'm now being introduced to the fact that she kind of did it. She kind of did it before anyone else did. You know?
Yeah, she's the blueprint. Janelle definitely is eating off of Janet Jackson's plate. Like, yeah, for sure.
Janet Jackson, the best Jackson.
Yes. I can say that. Yes. Yeah. I love Mike, but like, yeah, Janet had something there.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm glad not to put too specific a timestamp on when we're recording this episode, but politically, this is the season. This is the season of we're being forced to stand in our politics right now, and I think it's nice to see examples of that, like Janelle has. She's a leader. She's a leader in that way, and I admire it. So. With that, though, I think we gotta go to the board, Ange, and we gotta see how you did today, because this is very serious and this is a very scientific thing that we do here. So, in assessing your case that you've made for Dirty Computer today, I'm going to tell you the points you received. The most recent points you received were 3 million points for what you told me was the thesis. What you expressed was the thesis of. I don't want to forget, and that we can build a better world. So you got 3 million points for that. I gave you 2,000 points for invoking the god Dionysus, a first on the pod, and so you need those. You need
Bless it.
Yes. And you got 1,000 points for Ange can dance. We gave 6 million points that will count towards you. Lucky day. We gave 6 million points to Janelle for being a free ass motherfucker. That's exactly that's what her pronouns are. That's what their pronouns are. 400 points for expressing how Janelle is transformative and is a Renaissance person, has her fingers in all these pies, can do it all. I think it's an essential part of her. Michael, you got 99 points for talking about how sometimes our taste ends up being the modern extension of our parents' taste. I like that take. It seems to fit with all of our stories.
I'll donate those points to Ange just in case we don't quite hit the number we have to hit. So
the threshold.
Thanks for the reparations, Mike.
Yeah. Oh God.
They come in all forms.
Gotcha.
2,000 points for being a professional go-go dancer. Love that. And we'll group the Trestle Inn in lovely Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Yes. In
those 2,000 points. 900 points for talking about the common language that music was for your family and your community growing up. Loved that. Really, really connect with that. And then we got 600 points for dubbing Janelle Monae a thought leader. And I think she is. I think if anybody's a thought leader, if anybody should be a thought leader, it should be Janelle Monae. There's some people that I think call themselves thought leaders that probably shouldn't be.
No.
So I'll be happy if Janelle does.
Yeah.
You gave me 8 out of 10 pompadours for my recap. Thank you for that. All in all, I think this is a pretty strong board, among the strongest boards we've seen. And it's been almost a year of podcasting that we've been doing. Did you know that? Or maybe, did we already hit our 1-year anniversary? I don't know.
No, not yet.
No,
almost? Okay, yeah.
We're getting
almost.
Yeah, we're close. Yeah.
But man, we have seen few boards this strong. So well done to that. I guess
that's all Janelle.
It's all Janelle.
Yeah.
So I guess that means Michael. What do you?
I said, call me. Just keep.
You can call me. No, this is important. If she's listening, call Ange.
Please.
We'll tag Janelle on this.
We'll do what we can for you.
Right.
So with those points on the board, Michael, I put this to you, my friend. How is Ange done today? Does Dirty Computer by Janelle Monae go to 11? Is it a perfect album?
Oh, no deliberation whatsoever. This album slaps, as the kids say.
I don't know if the kids still say that, but
they still say that. Okay, well,
I'm
this
not
album
sure.
goes to 11. I'll say that. No,
as the teenagers say.
As the teenagers say. I mean, I enjoyed listening to this album so much. When it first came out, for some reason I didn't listen to it when it first came out. So having to listen to it for this episode, I mean, I've been listening to it like more than I probably needed to prepare for the episode, just because I dug it so much. And I mean, I don't know. There were moments I just developed such a greater appreciation for Janelle Monae as an artist as well, because I felt like on some songs there was a different person singing because of her vocal quality. She's just able to she's got range, but like also the voice there's character underneath it. I don't know. This is just a joy to listen to and to think about and to pick apart the lyrics, which is kind of a segue into what our standout track is going to be. But yeah, no, this album totally goes to 11.
Well done, Ange.
Thanks. Well done, Janelle. You get all the points.
Well done, Janelle.
Yeah.
We're grateful.
Yeah. Happy to be a soldier in your army, Janelle.
And it has been great talking to you about this album. Thank you for bringing it to us. Thank you for spending some time with us,
of course.
talking about a fantastic artist. Yeah. Something that you share in common with Janelle Monae. So,
thanks. Yeah.
So I guess all we got left now is just to share our standout track with our listeners.
What is it?
Well, Tyler,
we've chosen Americans. Americans, the final track on the album. I think it's timely. It's timely given the season that we're in with midterms and all that. And it's I think what's beautiful about it is the starkness to it. Something about ending on the. I think in reading about reviews and criticism's important. Obviously, criticism is an important thing for us. We should all think critically. But I saw some reviews of the album that felt like the political nature, her political expression was overdone. And I respectfully disagree, and in some cases disrespectfully disagree with them, because I just feel like sometimes it's got to be awkward. Sometimes it's the way that you express your core values is maybe it's always awkward. And I think the fact that kind of invokes that emotion in me makes me feel like, oh, this is an important place to be in when you're talking politically, when you're speaking and you're trying to say, oh, this matters to me. This is the world that I wish to live in and that I wish to share with others. So I think this is a killer song, a great way to end the album. It had to be this one for sure.
I love satire, and I think the playful nature of the song juxtaposed with the lyrics is just so smart. It's smart and it's catchy, and then you're like, oh, this is catchy. And then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh, wait a minute, what's going on here? And now you're thinking and dancing at the same time. And that's my favorite kind of music. So
hell yeah. Yeah. It's like her you get it moment is like this song. Like calling back to our girl Janet Jackson. This song is like, lyrics like Uncle Sam kissed a man, Jim Crow Jesus rose again. Like, love that.
War is old, so is sex. Let's play God, you go next.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, it's like a nursery rhyme almost. Like it's something would be sung on a playground with some really informed and like chill kids.
It like sing-songy, and that's the satire of it too, right? And like I love it, makes you dance and think, right? Like for sure.
And also claiming ownership of being an American, which I think is something that I'm grappling with is in a continuous way, is like, and what does my patriotism look like? What does my, is it patriotism? Is it, it's really about community, right? And so I think when she just repeats over and over again, I'm American, I'm American, I'm American, there's a thing where maybe she's trying to convince herself, or maybe she's just saying like, no, listen, you can say I'm American. You don't have to be embarrassed about it. You can say it loud.
Yeah, I think the way that she enunciates American
Mm-hmm.
too, like there's already like, we can do this. It's like a rallying cry. And I think she wants to be a patriot, right? Because she wants to be able to believe in America. And like she says, please sign your name on the dotted line. Like she ends the song with that as like a, let's do this. Like let's put our money where our mouth is, you know?
Yeah.
And let's sign, and please sign your name, like everyone who is listening to this song as individuals. Let's come together as a community on this community document, which is like our pledge to make a better world. Do it. And she says, please, which I think is very kind of her.
It's so Janelle. It's so Janelle.
Yeah. And I think she's doing it tongue in cheek, of course, but if you didn't get it, you get it. You know, you get the point.
Yes. Totally. Well, yeah. Thanks so much, Ange, for coming on. Thanks everybody for listening. We hope you'll enjoy this album, and stay safe out there. This is Americans by Janelle Monae.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.